Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In the previous video, we have learned introduction on Python and why it became so popular. In this video, we will learn Python variables and data types. Being a beginner, one need to understand Python variables and data types first. Before diving into the topic, I have a question. How does Python remember you? Imagine Python has to track your name, age, and salary. How Python will store that information in its digital brain? One thing is memory management, and the second one is instant recall. Third one is data organization. What is this memory management? As I said, it has to track your name, age, and salary. The, the three things will be stored in its RAM at different memory locations. At one memory location it will store the name, and in second memory location it will store age, and in third memory location it will store salary. Coming to instant recall, as these three things were stored in three different memory locations, we can easily access those memory locations in our program. That is called instant recall. And coming to data organization, name generally it is textual data. Coming to age, it is integer data, and coming to salary, it is a float data. As three types of data is there in our example, Python can process all these three types of data. That is called data organization. Okay, in this way, Python is going to track your name, age, and salary. Now, coming to today's topic, we will learn what are variables and what are the rules to define variables and what are the basics. Later, the core data types. Okay, let us dive into the topic. The first one is variable. What is a variable? A variable is nothing but a labeled box or a container. Imagine you have different containers at home. One container stores rice, another container stores sugar, third container stores water, and another container stores toys. Okay, here the container is a variable. It stores some information or it stores values. Okay, the container is labeled as variable, and what it contains is called a value. Say for example, here we have a container. In this container we have a value as 25. The label of this container is age. So here what will be the variable? Age is the variable and its value is 25. In our programming, how we are going to define it? Age equal to 25. In our programming, we are going to define in this way. So age is a variable and 25 is the value, as we are assigning this 25 to the age. In our programming, we can easily access this 25 by using this age variable. I believe you understand what a variable is now. Okay, now I'll show you how to define variables in VS Code. Now I'm opening my VS Code, and here I have already the python basics.ipynb. As it is not useful to you, I'm deleting it. Yes, I'll create a code here. Yeah, as I have already explained how to define variable. Here it is, age is equal to 25. And how to access it? See, I'm printing this age. After executing, see this, as I'm printing the age, it is giving output as 25. Why? We have assigned age already with the value 25. Here age is a variable and 25 is its value. Right? I believe you understand the variable concept. In this variables, Python has a beautiful feature that we can assign values dynamically. I'll explain it. In earlier programming languages like C, we have to define the variable in a way that what is the information it is going to store. Say for example, in C language, we have to create a variable as int a. It will store, now a will store the information pertaining to integers only. But in Python programming language, there is no need to define what value it is going to store. It will dynamically assign the values. As I have already given here, age is equal to 25, it dynamically storing integer. I mean, the age become integer variable. Coming to, I'll show you another example here. Name is equal to, say for example, Vimal. Here what type of variable is name? Name is a string type variable. Okay, it will store the string type information. There is no need to define a string name before assigning the values. This is called dynamically assigning the values to the variables. This is a beautiful feature it Python has. As it is a high level programming language, it has this kind of features. Again, coming to the topic. Now, for example, as I have already illustrated, imagine we have different containers at home. Say, for example, in our kitchen, we have water bottle. It will stores water. It will store water, right? Here, water bottle is a variable and its value is water. Coming to rice container is a variable. As it stores rice, rice is its value. Coming to school bag. In school bag, there are so many items. Here you see float, list, dictionary. These are all different data types. We will discuss about all these data types in the coming slides. These are the examples coming to variables. I mean real world examples. Now, the basic rules in defining variables. How to define a variable? A variable can be defined. I mean, a variable has to start with an alphabet. Okay, or an underscore. This is underscore, and it must start with an alphabet or an underscore. Variable cannot be started with a number, and white spaces, no spaces will be allowed in between. I mean, no white spaces will be allowed in a variable. Further, we cannot define variable as reserved keywords. What are these reserved keywords? In Python, we have reserved keywords like if, else, for, while, class. These kind of reserved variables are there in Python. We cannot define these reserve keywords as variables. We have to avoid such kind of things. These are the basic rules in defining variable names. I believe you understand. And coming to the data type, basically the data types are of numbers, text, logic, and collections. In numbers, we have two types of data types. What are they? First one is integer and the second one is float. Integer is nothing but a whole number, and coming to float, float contains decimal values but integer doesn't, right? I'll show you here. Coming to whole numbers without decimals, say for example count is equal 10. 10 is a whole number, so it is of integer type. Coming to float, price is equal to 19.9 and it has decimal value, right? Here it has decimal value 0.99, so it is a float number. Okay, sorry, my bad. Floating data type, it is integer and this is floating data type. Both data type stores numbers only. The next data type is string. Strings store textual data only. Okay, strings store textual data only. Textual data means names, emails, addresses, all these things come under text, right? I'll show you how to mm, define this textual data in programming environment. uh, yeah, we have already defined name. Here name is equal to Vimal. This is a textual data, right? This is how we define textual data. uh, any textual information which is written in quotation marks, in quotes, will come under strings in Python. We can use single quote or double quote. Okay, if you want to use apostrophe, then you have to assign the textual data in double quotes. I'll show you how. Say you have to print this is Vimal's pen, and now I'm executing it. See here, I'm printing this is Vimal's pen, right? As I write this in double quotes, I'm able to get this apostrophe also. If I write this in single quote, we'll see what will be the output. See here, if we write this in single quote, what is the error we get? Unterminated string literal, where here. Okay, so if you have apostrophe in your text, then you have to write the entire text in double quotes. For example, you have multiple lines, then how to store or how to define that information? See, for example, message. I have some, I am Vimal. I'm studying, I'm a student. I'm a student. I live in India. Okay. As I said earlier, we can define textual data in single quotes or double quotes. Here we have multiple lines, right? If we define this value in single quotes, will it be okay? Can we print this? Okay, print. Commenting it. See here. Oh, I have already told you, right? My bad. Here we have to use double quotes. Now execute. This is also we are getting an error. Why? Because it has multiple lines. Here we have to use triple double quotes. You have to use triple quotes. Now you can print this information and see. Sorry. See here. If you have apostrophe in your text data, then use double quotes. If you are dealing with multiple lines, then use triple double quotes as shown in this code. I believe you understand. Coming to next concept. Next data type is Boolean type. We have only two values for Boolean. That is nothing but one is true and second one is false. Okay, this is used in logical operations. I'll show you here. What is logical operation? 5 greater than 3. Say for example 5 greater than 3. True or false? It is true. I'm going to execute it and see what the output will be. See here, 5 greater than 3, right? It is a logical operation. As it is true, we are getting the value as true. If I change this greater than to less than and executing, then the output will be false. This is how the Boolean data type will be. One is true or false, where we can use this Boolean type of information where for logical operations especially, and also where on and off conditions. For all type of on and off conditions, we will use this Boolean operations, this Boolean data type. Coming to next topic, list. List can store multiple values. In other words, we can say list can store ordered values. It can store multiple values in a using a single variable. I'll show you how to define this list in VS Code. See here. For example, I have L. I'm going to store some values. See here, we have stored some numerical values, textual data, I mean string, and also some float value. All these values are stored in a single variable called L, and this is a list. This is how we can define list. Okay, list is nothing but it is a collection of ordered data. Coming to real world example, we can say how the shopping cart will be, in a cart we will place whatever we buy or whatever we want to purchase, right? There are different types of products. There will be different types of products. Likewise, list will store different types of values. This is about list. And coming to dictionaries, this is also a special data type which is available in Python. It has in dictionary we have key value pairs. Okay, here is the example how to define a dictionary. See, user is equal to curly braces, name is equal to Jaanu, level is equal to 10. Here, key is name and level, I mean, and its value is Jaanu. How we can access these information? I'll show you here. See, say for example, user is equal to name Jaanu, age 25. How to access user of name. Here, user is a dictionary and user of name. What is this? User of this. This is the key. We are accessing its value using user of name is Jan. Okay, this is a dictionary and it stores any kind of information. For example, here we store string type of information. Here, int data type. Here, Boolean type. Okay, we can store different types of information in dictionary also. It is a key value pair concept. As I earlier, as I said earlier, it is a dynamic. Python will store the information dynamically. Then how to know what type of information is being stored in a variable? For this, we have a built-in function. There is nothing but a type function. Here in this type, using this type function, we can easily know what type of information is stored in that variable. We have defined so many variables here, right? User, list, so many, right? Here I am going to access any of this information. For example, say for example type of user, it is a dict is nothing but dictionary. If you change user to L, it will, my bad, here above we defined a list with a variable name L. Okay, by after executing this we must get this as list, right? So we'll see here we are getting list, right? With this inbuilt function we are able to get the type of information a variable stored. Okay, and coming to another topic here, I have already explained this dynamic typing. Okay, it has small dynamic typing, which is nothing but it can assign values dynamically. Okay, that is the major feature in Python. Coming to this data type summary, see here in this table we have integer value, float value, string value and list value. Int means type means int. We elaborate it and the name int is nothing but integer. float, float, str means string, list list means list, we know here. And coming to its values, what will be the values of integer 25 minus 10? We have discussed it earlier, right? The whole numbers comes under integers. Coming to float, float 3.149.5, what is it, what does it mean? Float stores the information containing decimal values. Coming to string, string is nothing but textual data. And how to define the textual data in Python programming language? The data, the text which is embedded or which is written in quotation marks is nothing but textual data in Python programming language. Coming to list, list is a collection of data. It can store numbers, text, integer, float, whatever it may be. It is a list. Using a single variable, we can store multiple values. Okay, this is a simple summary regarding the data types what we have already discussed. Being beginners, what are the beginner mistakes we have to know, right? Coming to we have already discussed about it. We have, if we have to print single quotes in our text, we have to embed that information in double quotes. While defining these variables, variables are case sensitive. Variables are case sensitive. I'll explain here. Age is equal to 25 and age is equal to 30. These two are different variables. Okay, see here, I'll show you. See, these two are different variables. Okay, while defining, we should be very careful because variables are case sensitive. We have already explained this one. Keywords, we should not use keywords are reserved words as our variables. Coming to a quick quiz, which data type stores multiple values in a specific order? We have already discussed this. Answer is already shown on the screen. List. List is a data type which stores multiple values in specific order. What are the key takeaways? Briefly, I'll summarize the video. Variables. Variables are nothing but the containers. Containers. These containers stores data. The storing data is called value and container is a variable. Coming to data type is nothing but the kind of data we use. That comes under data type. Python can auto detect the type of data we store in a variable, which is nothing but dynamic typing. This one is also we have discussed in our video. With this, I believe you understand what are the data types and what are the variables in Python. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the lesson. Let's grow together. See you in the next lesson. Thank you for watching.